I must have had that set on auto start.
Yeah, I thought I heard it say recording or something, and you kicked
No,
it.
that was Craig. That was the
Oh,
uh,
oh, okay.
Discord bot. Yeah, we're streaming and recording. I don't do anything with it. I just maybe normalize it and then throw it up on the RSS feed. That way people can listen to it. Sometimes it's interesting. Maybe we should pick and choose which ones we put up there like that.
Maybe.
Uh,
And Discord seems to love an update. My God, it's like every week. I don't know.
Yep.
The deb file, yeah, I mean, it works every time. It just seems like it's a lot of updates.
if I've got any, because I use the flat pack, I think. Yeah. And if there's any updates on my flat pack updates, it's Discord. And it's probably all just stuff we don't use. It's stuff for the stuff they make money off of, you know.
Yeah, I download. It forces me to download the deb file every time, and then I open it up in the package installer. And every time I do it, I think, wait a minute, am I like installing another version of it? Do I now have a half a dozen versions of Discord? But apparently not. I think it updates, even though it says install. It's actually updating it.
It's doing a similar thing to what apt does, except you're actually downloading the deb yourself.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it
Then I
goes into
right
the
click on it, and yeah, it works. I mean, I like the smallness of it. I don't mind the deb file as long as you trust the publisher.
Yeah, that is a lifelong question, isn't it? When it comes to installing stuff or side loading it, whatever. Copy. Building a third big server so that the family can have Nextcloud.
Well, you're continuing to spoil your family.
Well, everybody's running out of space on Google Photos, so
Oh, okay.
and I'm not paying for more
I don't blame
Google
you.
Photos. And I've got motherboards and storage. I got stuff laying around that I could probably build 3 or 4 more machines out of. So I'm taking another Lenovo board. I got to get some ECC RAM, some error correcting code RAM for it, but other than that, I got everything I need to build it. Ubuntu server on it. I've been playing around with the you've got a few options when you go to install a Nextcloud server, and the easiest of it, which is the Nextcloud Snap. That being said, it's also the hardest to administer because it's very locked down or opinionated about the way it works, and if you want external storage, you got to use bind mounts and stuff like that. The officially supported method is what they call an all-in-one Docker image, and I installed one just to get it up and running to see how well it works. That is how I should have done our mintCast Nextcloud, because that is fantastic the way that works. So in the near future, I'm going to do a reinstall, and I'm going to do it using that method because that's their officially supported method anyway. I just installed it on bare metal because I figured that was the official way, and it might have been at the time because I hadn't heard of this all-in-one image where you can get all the other
Docker?
Yeah, and it's fantastic. You get this interface where you can choose between Collabora or only Office servers, and it goes and downloads and connects all that stuff together for you. It's fantastic, and everything just works. There's no weird messing around with PHP configs or anything like that. The only difficulty is that I have to chain two, because I'm using reverse proxies to work out all of the TLS and SSL stuff. And when you've got the Nextcloud server on a machine other than the reverse proxy, then you got to use two reverse proxies, because Nextcloud's got to have TLS from beginning all the way to end. So there's a little bit involved, but it's actually not bad at all.
You had any issues with the database? Isn't the default database, even in the Docker, a MySQL? And I've heard people talk about they've run into some issues and then they changed to like a Postgres or some other more efficient database or more beefy database. Anyway.
So if you use if you install with the Snap just for yourself and you use the built-in code server for Collabora, it uses SQLite.
SQLite, not MySQL. Okay.
And then if you install, so since I did bare metal, I went ahead and did a bare metal install of MariaDB, which is a MySQL drop-in replacement. It literally has all the exact same syntax. With the all-in-one Docker image, it pulls a Postgres container by default, and it works all that out for you. I was a little skeptical because most of the stuff I've done on Docker, I've had long, like something like that, you would expect to have a long Docker compose with a whole lot of database stuff written in it and all that. This has just got like a 4-line Docker run command. It's about 5 or 6 lines if you're putting it behind a reverse proxy, but it just pulls everything you need. It just pulls and connects up, and it just worked. And you can literally drop in, replace the OnlyOffice you can replace Collabora for OnlyOffice, or you can have both, which might be interesting. And so eventually I'm going to make sure everything is backed up, and then I'm going to I'll probably do a nuke and pave on the server itself, and then redo Nextcloud that way. And then I don't have to worry. That's the other thing. You don't have to worry about the updates too, because they're handled on the Docker level instead of on the PHP level, because that's updating Nextcloud right now on bare metal is this sort of arcane process of downloading the archive from the web interface, and then SSHing in, opening a terminal, and then running an OCC command from there with the www user, and then running the update. So it's like a 2 or 3 part process, and then sometimes it needs additional commands because things don't always go all the way through the way they should. With this, it'll just be handled on the Docker level. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. But being able to switch up, because I know a lot of people just... there's one guy, I can't think of his name, he hates Collabora so much he writes out his show notes and then copies and pastes the whole thing at one time into the show notes because people hate Collabora so much. I've been wanting to get that switched out for OnlyOffice, but the process of doing that, I don't know, I'm missing something, because everybody keeps telling me it's easy, but maybe that's because they're using the Docker method. I don't know. But that's my stretch goal. How's it going, Eric?
Hey, doing all right?
Yeah.
How about you?
Not bad. Just got home to a dead battery.
Oh.
Yeah, that was $130 I wasn't planning on spending, but
cheap. You got off cheap.
Yeah, that was their cheapest one. Oh, dude, that guy went so hard trying to talk me out of buying that cheap battery. I said, yeah, okay, so I got 8 years out of this 2-year battery. The cheap battery is a 1-year battery, so by my math, I ought to get 4 years out of that 1-year battery. Hey, yeah, that sounds about right.
Actually, I think I got about 11 years out of the original battery I had in my 2014 Murano. I just had it replaced here a couple months ago because I said, your battery's showing it needs to be replaced. And I was thinking, I don't think I've ever replaced the battery on this. It's the original because it's my second vehicle. It's not my primary vehicle. So
it slips your mind.
I think I got about 11 years out of it.
When he said it was 2070, I'm like, good God, my dad was still alive when I bought that battery. I need a new truck anyway, though, because I've had that one since 2012. And they ain't going to last forever. It's got a notorious engine in it. It shouldn't have lasted as long as it has.
Ford F-150 with the high pressure fuel rails on the 4-cylinder?
No, it's got the 5.4 V8, but it's got the fuel rails, but it's also got a problem with the oil ports getting clogged up because they're just too narrow. I don't know if they cut corners on the design of the block itself, but it can't get any oil flow or coolant. It's got a problem with coolant. The oil changes are key, but I knew that from the day I bought it to keep the oil changes up. I'm usually pretty good about that anyway. But I only put full synthetic oil in it and premium gasoline. That was another thing.
Yeah, I don't cheap out on gas or oil, honestly. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, over the life of a vehicle, I mean, you're going to spend a couple $1,000 extra on oil changes to avoid, catastrophic damage. So it's just, and the same thing with gas. I mean, yeah, it's a little more expensive to use, especially if your car expects 91 or better, and you got people that'll run, lower octane, and you just think, yeah, it'll adjust, but it's not good for it, But hey, save that extra couple bucks, whatever.
My mom was like that. I remember growing up, she would drive 20 miles out of her way to save a penny on gas, and I'm the guy that I'll go to the gas station that's a right turn. I'm thinking of stuff like that.
Some people obsess about that.
Oh, they absolutely
it's 2 cents cheaper. Like, halfway across town, like, okay.
Gas do you see how much gas? What? No, dude, I don't look. I just don't look. And it's not because I'm independently wealthy. It's that I got a lot of other things in life to worry about, honestly. Yeah.
There's an app called Gas Buddy where you could look on your phone and it'll tell you the price of all the stations near you and how far they are. It only takes, especially if you drive a lot, it only takes a minute to check that and figure out, okay, it's 10 cents cheaper. It's like half a mile away. If you're filling up, saves a couple bucks.
I'm still thinking, though, that, that's 10 cents cheaper, but I got to turn left to get into that one.
As a guy who drives, you should be sensitive to it.
Oh, yeah, but that ain't my money.
Okay.
The average, when I fill my tanks on that truck, you're looking $800 per day.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's why you're paying more for your eggs.
Yeah, Gas Buddy, I don't know. It's a pretty frustrating app. I think the UI is a bit bit difficult to use, at least for me. Maybe I'm just dumb, but yeah, I tried using it for a while, and really what I found was that consistently certain stations were always less. And so it was like, well, I don't really need to keep checking because literally it's always within, 5 cents or something. And like Bill said, it's just the one that's on my way. So unless it was like 15 cents or like something that's like a legit amount of money, I'm just not that swayed by it.
Mhm.
But my wife's one of those people that will definitely drive way out of her way to save, 30 cents on a tank of gas. And it's just like, hey, you do you.
Life's too short.
Amen to that. I mean, I'm not an idiot. Obviously, if it's, $4.25 one place and $3.75 another, like, yeah, that's a big enough difference. But it's rarely like that. It's almost, at least around here, it's almost always 2 cents, 3 cents,
Yeah.
And in my
I
truck,
find 10.
When I'm in the truck, most of the time, what I'm thinking about is what are the places I can get in and out of faster, because you should see how some of these main line truck stops get backed up in the fuel islands, and guys will, oh God. The ones
What
that
do you mean, Buc-ee's isn't any easier for you truck drivers than it is for us normies?
So
But
Buc-ee's
that's
does not
worse.
allow.
That's what
you
people
guys.
they'll just get out and then go take a shower or something, right? And you're like,
There'll be two
Get
trucks
out.
behind in line, right? And they'll pull the brakes and go inside and order a sandwich or something, and come back, and the whole fuel island in front of them has cleared up. Oh, those are the ones that make me want to beat them with a cheater iron or something.
yeah, just go park when you're done. Then you can go in and take your time.
That's
Let the rest of us,
one of those things right there. So I'll try to choose some place that's a little less, because there's places that the big companies just tend to gravitate towards, and then there's places that are kind of out of the way that I'll try to go there first, just because we're so heavily regulated on the amount of time that we can drive, and you can end up burning up 45 minutes to an hour just fueling the doggone
Is that
thing.
considered drive time, like any time the truck's running, or?
No, but once we start our day, we've got a 14-hour clock. We got a 14-hour clock and an 11-hour clock. The 14 hours is the total for the day, and then the 11 hours is how much we can drive within that 14 hours.
Gotcha.
And so you're looking at 3 hours outside of the driving. You'll run into situations where you're cutting into the drive time in order to do all these other things, just because you might get held up at a customer or something like that. And
It took them an hour to actually get the shipment on board.
I've been places 8 hours before, just because they.
Good. Dale would tell me. He's told me stories of like where he's there all day waiting to get loaded, and it's like, well, why? Don't they know you have to schedule to keep? And he's like, I'm at their mercy. What am I gonna do?
They use trucks waiting in line as warehouse space, basically. That. You know what I'm saying? Especially like where. Food warehouses and things like that. The less time it spends in their warehouse, the less time they are responsible for that
Perishable
commodity
stuff. Yeah.
And I've seen them take 3 days to unload a truck before, and then when they bring it in, the product is outdated, and then the driver has to figure out how to dispose of the product. Which is, I don't haul food anymore because it's stuff like that. And then dealing with the unions and that, some of these places where they'll charge you just, hey, you can park here if you want to, but I'm going to tell you like this right here. We're going to need you to pay. We're going to need you to pay up there. If you want to park here, you need to pay up, all right? You know, the little mob thing.
Are you trying to sound like a Goomba?
A Goomba?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't haul food anymore. I don't know why Dale puts up with what he puts up with, because he's too old for that shit.
Yeah, nobody at home reminding him. I think that's a big part of it. If you got a family and stuff, like you got stuff you want to get home for, it's like your time's not really your own anymore, and
not really.
You can't deal with that kind of stuff. There's only so many times you can have that argument before you're like, you know what? It's either a happy wife or things that got to change. So I know I've had a few of those moments myself in my career. It's me or that pager. You make your choice.
When I get the last kid out of the house, I'm done. I'm gonna change careers.
I thought you'd already modified your career once, and then
had
to modify it back.
Had to modify it back because I needed the money. I'm getting ready to have one of the three out of the house, but once I get all three of them,
I've been telling myself that for years.
I'll probably be retirement age by the time the third one's out of the house.
I was just thinking that this morning, is it even fair to expect my daughter to be able to find a place if she's by herself, college age, that isn't related to a dorm or something, campus housing, and isn't just some slum apartment?
What I've noticed a lot of the younger people are doing is they're sharing a place with multiple.
Getting 15 roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like airline pilots. No, I don't know. I did the same thing. I ended up getting a house after school with my roommate from college, and so it was kind of like just a continuance in a lot of ways. Some good, some bad. But yeah, it definitely made it more palatable. It also helped that we found a kind of unicorn house that should have been triple what we were paying for it, but the guy, it's one of those ones where he didn't want to put in the effort to make it any nicer than it had to be habitable, basically. And me being in my early 20s, I was like, that's just fine. I don't care.
Yeah, just get me out of the house.
Cheap is better. Yep. If the choice is living here or living in my parents' house, I will live here. That house definitely had mold and asbestos, and who the hell else knows what else, but oh well. You're only young once, right?
The Army paid for my early housing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Well, you paid for it, buddy. You paid a lot.
Oh no, I'm paying for it now.
Yeah, well,
as my body continues to fall apart.
Well, you got the VA.
Oh yeah, because them losing 80,000 personnel and not being able to hire new doctors after mine retired has worked out so well for me.
Was that sarcasm?
A little bit.
No.
So what are you guys doing today, other than sitting here staring at your computer?
Well, I went to the gym today and did chest. That was fun. And then he's supposed to be bringing it by later today, but I traded a guy 3 mesh routers for an OLED switch 1. So, and then his wife wanted to borrow my post holder, so
giggity.
I took those by, and yeah.
Say OLED router or OLED.
I'm building
Is that a
Switch.
OLED switch? Okay.
OLED switch 1. from Nintendo.
I was going to say.
I think it's a pretty good trade considering I was already going to give him the frickin' mesh routers for free. So
yeah, that definitely makes it a good trade.
Yeah.
I never really looked at one of those or held one. My daughter's friend brought one with her, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I sat there and played around with it for a little bit. It's a nice little device. It's just the right size that it's big enough to be able to see it, even with crappy eyes like mine. Well, to an extent, you know.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I got my Steam Deck that I use, but and the OLED is evidently a lot harder to mod so that you can put custom firmware on it and, you know, use it as an emulation station if you want to. But my son has his Switch, and then Jackie has her Switch. So I guess as a backup for one of theirs, or if they want to switch for an OLED or whatever. Like I said, I was just giving him the mesh routers, and he's like, "Let's trade, and you can have this OLED Switch." And I'm like, "Okay."
Does Nintendo have some sort of like a cloud sync thing where, like, if you have multiple devices, you can have the same stuff on each device, or?
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or you're allowed to download stuff from their servers from wherever as long as you sign in. Yeah.
Something like that. And it's also to, you know, prevent you from playing modded games. Their network prevents you from playing modded games, prevents you from, you know, playing copies of games. So
but you can play offline though, right?
Yeah, you can't play offline, which is what I would end up doing if I put on like custom firmware or whatever. But there's a hardware mod you have to do on the Switch OLED to be able to do the software mod. And then I would never go on to the Nintendo store network, whatever.
Gotcha. Yep, I have not had a game console since the Sega Genesis.
Which was an awesome system, which is one of the things that I love to emulate and play some of the old games that I grew up on.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know that would be a never-ending rabbit hole for me. You know, the other thing is I've my Steam library, like every now and then I'll fire up a game that I enjoyed 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And honestly, at this point, I don't like fast-paced games. I just an effect of, I guess, getting older. Like, they're just not fun anymore because it's too much work. It's like too stressful. I'd rather just play something that's enjoyable and a little slower and just, I don't know. That's why I like games that are games where there's a path through the level, like everything that's open world where it's just fetch and chase quests or just gets so damn old so fast. Like, I love Fallout games and stuff like that, those types of games, but man, the amount of time you sink into just getting this basic equipment and let alone doing any kind of base building and stuff, like, it's just such a time suck.
I remember playing like Skyrim when it first came out, and there was a bit of a grind to that. But if you look at the mods that the community brought out, that's not the right one, Jojo. The mods that the community have brought out since then, it is absolutely insane. I mean, they added in fishing, they added in like house building. You can go find random pets, adopt kids, all that, and it's just a lot of extra grind that they put into that game. And I understand it is a great game and they wanted more content. It just, I don't know.
I missed which game it was?
Skyrim.
Yeah, I was going to thought, I've put so many hours into that game, like a stupid amount of hours.
Well, all the stuff you remember, unless you've played recently, they have just added and added and added. And yes, game content, actually going out and doing things, but also so much extra grind if you want to.
Yeah. I would say World of Warcraft in the late aughts, early teens. I spent far too much time playing that game, like an unhealthy amount of time playing that game. I was in a job where I kind of had I had to be up at night to watch servers and updates and stuff like that. But a lot of it was literally just
engaged.
Yeah, you just literally just had to be awake and watch a process in the background. So I would just play, That's how I got into games in the first place, really, like PC games at least, like Castle Wolfenstein and the first Battlefield 1942 and like all that stuff was because I was up at 3 a.m, like, I had to do something or I was literally falling asleep in the chair. So, yeah. So then when World of Warcraft came out, that was it. I was cooked. But yeah, after World of Warcraft, I would say Skyrim was probably the one I played the most. Let me see. I'm trying to find my...
I enjoyed Skyrim. I enjoyed Morrowind. I did enjoy Oblivion, but not as much as Morrowind and Skyrim. But I also enjoyed the first Fate game. I don't know if you remember that one. Very similar in gameplay, but it was a while ago. And then I don't know. Oh gosh. Really, lately, I'm excited that Borderlands 4 is coming out, but I'm probably going to wait a couple of months to get it until, people have worked the kinks out of it. So, or told me that it's garbage, one of the two.
Bill will love this. So between the games that I have in my Steam library, the ones that I've played the most, Skyrim is just around 1,000 hours. The second most played is American Truck Simulator at just under 1,000 hours. That's when I was sick. I was in the hospital and I would just sit there and play American Truck Simulator like literally all day because I had nothing else to do. And what else do I have in here? Oh, Middle-earth Shadow of War, 400 hours. Some of these, I just get obsessed with them and I'll play them continuously until I just get absolutely sick to death of them.
Well,
I never played them again.
I think I have something like 3,000 hours in Borderlands 2.
Yeah. And it's all either because I was sick or I was working and needed to keep myself occupied overnight.
For me, it was I like blowing things up.
Skyrim, though, I spent more time just exploring and doing like everything I could think to do. I had so many characters rolled in that game. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, I double checked. I got 2,700 hours in Borderlands 2.
I've never really played. I got Borderlands 2 because it was a free. They were giving it away like last year, 2 years ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't even played it.
That's really too bad. It's the best game in the series, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. And I have just under 1,000 hours in Borderlands 3. And then, let's see, Skyrim. Where are you, Skyrim? It's probably under Elder Scrolls.
Witcher 3 is one I've spent a lot of time playing, too. That's a really good game.
This is not an accurate representation of my actual time playing Skyrim because I was playing Skyrim, I think, before I had Steam.
Mm-hmm.
So it says 110 hours.
Yeah. I don't know if I can see when I got it, but yeah, I was a latecomer to Skyrim. Like, it had been out for a very long time. But it's amazing to see like the longevity of some of these games. As long as the company will support, make sure it's going to keep running on the platforms, and a game like Skyrim can essentially just keep working forever. And Yeah, especially with a modding community. You're right. I'm trying to think of the site that I used for that, but yeah, I would.
Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore because Steam, it has incorporated all those mods.
Yes.
Or
yeah,
all the
through
popular
the
mods.
workshop stuff. Yeah. Yeah, because American Truck Simulator was the same way. At first, none of that stuff was in Steam, and it was such a pain in the butt to have to like go get all the DLC stuff and the add-ons and extensions or whatever. But yeah, I have all kind of stuff for that one too. I don't know. I just, like I said, I guess I really don't enjoy playing games like I used to.
Yeah, it's understandable.
I play board games online. There are
Yeah?
a couple of apps that one can use. Well, first of all, you have Tabletop Simulator, which is a Steam game. Really, it's a board game playing engine that
Oh, neat.
yeah, and it allows you to play whether you're playing classic games. Most people use them to play war games, simulation games, fantasy theme games. You can play live online with multiple people. Move
Magic the
pieces.
Gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's neat.
Yeah, if you get tabletop, it's only a few dollars. If you find, I never used Steam before because I haven't played video games in years. But when I got Linux in 2023, I downloaded Steam with I found a coupon online. They encourage you to, download and install Steam for the first time, and I was able to get TTS for literally just a few dollars. So
yeah, I put anything I ever want to buy, I just put on my wish list and then wait for it to go on sale because inevitably it's going to be nothing if you wait. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. I haven't played games largely because I got out of the habit years ago. Video game, like regular, like shoot 'em up or action type video games. But also, I'm too thrifty to pay for games. So, other than the few dollars for the piece of software, I just, the prices are nowadays are crazy. Whatever, $70, $80 or whatever it is now for the top level games. I'm just not going to do that. So.
I think if it's your hobby and you really enjoy it, the enjoyment you get out of a game, if it's long enough or has enough content or whatever, it's kind of hard to argue. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, games were basically $50 for over 10 years or even longer. Like that was just the standard $49.99 whatever, and then they went up to 50 and 60, and now they're even higher, and then you've got season passes and all the rest of it. But if it helps the studio to keep developing a game and stay interested in it, then I mean, it's like paying if you play World of Warcraft, you're paying a monthly fee, like a subscription. So you buy the game and then you still have to pay to play, and but at the end of the day, like the amount of server resources and stuff that it takes to maintain that is pretty significant. And so, and not to say they don't make like record profits off of it, but still.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at me. I maybe with the season passes and stuff have like $150 total into Borderlands 2, but I got 2,700 hours of play out of that. You can't really argue with that. You can't say that wasn't worth my dollar.
No, not at all. And a lot of games too, like this Tabletop Simulator that Jim mentioned, like, so you buy the base game, or you can get a 4-pack, and it's either $20 or $60. But then it has so much content. So this company is, it's like the same like the same with ATS or American Truck Simulator, where the base game is one thing and it is a playable game. but then there's all this extra content that they sell on top of it, and that's how they're kind of supporting ongoing development. Is most people then end up wanting to have, and so there's 43 add-ons for Tabletop Simulator, which the entire total cost is $305 for all of it.
So have you played Goat Simulator?
No, I've watched videos on it, but I have not played it myself. I considered getting it, but I was like, you know what? I totally get how Twitch and watching games is popular, because for a long time, excuse me, I was happy to like watch people play, let's play stuff, and just to see the content of a game that I knew I wasn't going to play myself. And Goat Simulator definitely fit into that category. Gary's Mod, like all those goofy things. The one I like watching, it's the Drive one, NT Drive or whatever. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's basically a physics simulator with vehicles, and there are creators that just make like weird Beam. It's like something Beam, I think. See if I can find it. BeamNG.drive. It's been early access. Good.
Sorry. Sorry for interrupting. But Joe, did you do a story a couple months ago with the new Switch that if they detect like you're trying to load a old game on it, it'll brick it? There was something about the new Switch.
If there's a cart that you can use to back up your own stuff, to make a copy of your own cart, and if you're caught using that backup of your own information, then Nintendo will lock you out of their network. They'll brick your stuff.
And is that around the world or just in the U.S.?
No, that's everywhere.
That's interesting that the EU didn't get after them for that. So
I think that it's ongoing.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes, because that's messed up if you can't back up your own carts.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because they assume everybody's trying to. Well, right, yeah, they assume that everybody's trying to get over.
And they even locked people out for buying used games.
No, jeez, God.
But I think it turned out in that case that you could get your Switch unlocked if you showed that you had bought them in good faith. Because in order for a person to be able to sell a used game, they have to delete it from their system before they sell on the cart. That way there's only, one instance of the data from that cart being used. So if they don't delete it and then they sell the cart and you load it up, you get locked out.
Yeah.
And it's not like, okay, your account's locked out. No, your device, you can't sell on the device and let somebody else log into it and use it. That device is then banned. So it's a very lovely paperweight.
Yeah.
And there are some things you can do, without being on the Switch network, but not a lot. You can't watch videos on the device, is my understanding, and you can't download updates. And a lot of your cartridges now don't actually have anything on them other than a link to the Switch store to download the actual game. So you can't do that either.
Yeah, the nice thing about playing games that are exclusively designed as board games. I have a collection of classic games from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and a few newer ones that are specifically designed as board games. Now, since then, the late 90s and the 2000s forward, there are two major platforms. These are not video games, they're board games that have been created to allow people to play these classic board games online. The first one was called Cyberboard. It's a Windows program, and people would play like in the 90s and early 2000s via email or Yahoo groups, which existed back then. And you're taking turns, sending each other move files to, play this board game via email. And then someone created another platform called Vassal, Vassal, and it's a cross-platform app that works in Linux, Windows, Mac, everywhere that JavaScript works. And that allows you to play live online. So what people do is they'll get on Discord typically, and either exchange move files or play live with voice, and that allows people to play these board games, either turn by turn or interactively live and in the moment, rolling the dice, with a Discord bot, and play these games online. And it's free, if you own the game, like I do in many cases, or even if you don't, somebody has the rules. All you need, all the modules for these games are free. So it's I like playing like that, where I don't have to make an investment. Although I do have a small, modest collection of games that have gone up in value. But yeah, it's cool.
No, I do remember playing Yahoo Chess back in the day. On their live system. I don't remember what they called it, but yeah. Yahoo Chess, I think it was.
Yeah. So, Jim, is this kind of a peer-to-peer, those games you're talking about, or I'm just trying to figure out if there's a central spot where everybody has to go to play the tabletop?
That's a good question. The one that's sort of current and popular, Vassal, what they have is it's a board game playing engine. Vassal is not a game itself, but there are literally thousands of modules that you download. And what they have is a central server where you can meet up and, either play turn by turn. In other words, you would, go and open up Vassal, move your pieces around, roll the dice, whatever, and then you would you could literally email or send a file to your opponent or opponents, plural, over Discord, email, or Dropbox, or whatever you want. Or you could go online and play through a central server where it's like a little room where you could see each one of you are looking at the same map board, the same counters, the same dice and all that, charts, and play live through a central server. However, they were very smart when they designed it. Not only is it cross-platform, so you could use it on Linux, FreeBSD, Windows, Mac, everything, but there is a peer-to-peer component to it. So even if the central server were to go down, Vassal were to go out of, disappear, it could still theoretically work, but direct between two different people.
Nice.
All right, guys, I hate to be rude, but I'm falling asleep here, so I will see y'all next time.
Sounds good.
That gym workout wore you out?
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, John.
See you later.